This is May 2015, Standard Level, Paper 1, Time Zone 2, Question 3. And it's a cumulative frequency question, which is a bit of a pain because the graph is on this slide and all the questions are on the next slide. And my app is not well set up for dealing with that. So, here goes. We've just seen the graph, and then we've got a frequency table with some of the information missing. So, the first piece of information that's missing is what's the frequency of the 160 fish that have a length between 0 and 2 centimetres. And the second question is what's the length of the 160? So how many of the fish are between 3 and 4.5? And you know what I've just done? I've just done something that people who I've seen answer this question also did and missed out part A completely. So there's an important lesson. We'll come back to that in a second. So part A was find the median length. I've seen people drop those 2 marks, not because they can't do it, because they haven't read that there is a part A to that question. So, watch out for that. So, to find the median length, I have to go back to the graph. The median, there's 160 fish on this graph, so the median is the 80th fish. There's the 80th fish. And he's 3 centimetres long. So the answer to part A, which you should write on the following page, but I'm going to write here because of the way my app works, the median is 3 centimetres. So the middle fish is 3. I have seen people, because the highest value is 6, I've seen people assume that the median is halfway. Now, I think this is a bad question in a way, because the median is halfway through the data between 0 and 6. And I think probably people can get marks on this question by writing 3 centimetres down, having done the wrong thing. By looking at the numbers 0 to 6 and saying, well, in the middle of 0 and 6 is the number 3, so that's the median. That's the wrong logical approach, because you could have had one fish who was 20 centimetres long and all the other fish are the same, and then you wouldn't say that the median was halfway between 0 and 20. If we had one more fish who was much, much longer, the median wouldn't really change very much. That's one of the great things about the median, is that it's not affected by outliers. So the median is 3, but it's not because it's in the middle of 0 and 6. The median is 3 because the 80th fish, when you put them in order from 0 to 160, the 80th fish is 3 centimetres long. And that wouldn't change if we had one more fish who was 20 centimetres long, 50 centimetres long. Okay, part B was asking 2 things. It was asking you to write down the value of P, which was the number of fish between 0 and 2. It was written like this. X is between 0 and 2P. And it was another write down question. Write down the value of P, which means you shouldn't really need to do much calculation, because if we're talking between 0 and 2 centimetres, well, there's the fish that are between 0 and 2 centimetres. And if I could get that a little bit more accurate on my iPad, you would, I'm sure, agree with me that P is 30. There are 30 fish between 0 and 2. And what about the value of Q? Q was the fish between 3 and 4.5. Just realised that I've got my inequality wrong on the first one. It should be this one that's equal. So it was asking for the value of Q. Q is how many are between 3 and 4.5. Well, there's 3 already drawn in the red. Here's 4.5. So the question is essentially asking how many fish are in that group. So Q is equal to 140 minus 80, which is 60. There are 60 fish here between those two lengths.